Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Master Reviewer back again with another review, and today we are doing a review for Ironheart. I finished watching the series Ironheart, and I did realize something that I probably should have been doing from the start, but I should warn at the start of the videos that there are going to be spoilers ahead for most stuff that I review. In general, all these reviews have spoilers because most of them are just me kind of ranting about whatever it is that I am reviewing, so I do go into specifics about the movie or show or anime, whatever it is. So in general, there are spoilers, but I need to, I think, at least for the newer stuff, like when I did Sinners, or if I'm doing this now, like I need to preface beforehand that there are going to be spoilers. So I'm going to try to do that in the future, at least with the newer things that I review. Anyway. So let us just begin, starting off with the characters. So I thought that Riri Williams, she was a pretty good lead. She's this very ambitious inventor that wants to do great things, but she doesn't have the resources. She ends up making deals with bad people in order to try to accomplish her goals, and she is a very flawed character. She does make a lot of mistakes in the movie, which I can appreciate, and so overall she was a pretty good protagonist to follow along to. Other than that, you have so spoilers, you have Mephisto, he was in this, this is his debut in the MCU. He was great. Sacha Baron Cohen, he was my favorite character. Just Sacha Baron Cohen as an actor is just wonderful. He was great in Borat, he was great in The Dictator, he is great in this. He is just pleasure to watch, and he did a great job playing this very manipulating, conniving character. It's only really in the last two episodes, but still he was my favorite character, and so yeah, he was great. You have the Hood, Parker, I forgot his last name. I think it was like Parker Robbins or something. I don't remember, but Parker, he is the Hood. He's pretty good. He does like for the first he does kind of lose a bit of the appeal in the last few episodes when you do like learn about Mephisto and that he's like in control, and so it's like he kind of loses a bit of that like at the start, like he does seem, you do see he's like being like manipulated kind of, but he still feels like he's the one in power, and then towards the end he kind of loses some of that power too because of Mephisto, but he's still pretty cool, I guess. So yeah. Besides him, you have the gang that he is with Clown, Slug, the Blood Twins, and Rampage. Rampage, played by Eric Andre, who he wasn't in the show for long, but he was still good for the bit he's in. It's always nice to see Eric Andre. And the rest of the gang is also, they're fine. They're not really the main focus of the show, but you know, the parts that they're in, they work for the heist and stuff. So not too much to say about that. You have Joe McGillicuddy, who turns out to be Zeke Stane, the son of Obadiah Stane from the original Iron Man. So he was good. He was this character that he didn't want to really get involved. He's like very weak, very like he doesn't want to get into conflict with people. He really tries hard to not be like his father, and but ultimately he does end up because of Riri's actions. She ends up causing him to get arrested, and then he suddenly changes his tone because he lost basically his life. He got blamed for a bunch of crimes, and he trusted Riri, and ultimately she ended up causing him to get arrested. So I thought that was good with what happened to him. It felt like, I guess, believable that he would hate Riri for this reason. And then he ends up augmenting his body to get revenge. But then ultimately he is still trying to be a good person, so he ultimately doesn't kill her, and he just like tells her to leave Chicago, and so she does leave Chicago. I will say it's a bit weird at the end, like where he still wants revenge. He's like, I have all these augmentations in my body and all this hatred, and I need to use it. So it's like, we'll continue this another time. It's like at that point, you already let her leave. So I guess because like Riri stated like she's not gonna leave Chicago, but I don't think that he ever heard about that. So it was fine. He wasn't bad. I liked his character. I thought it was good. Other than that, you have Ronnie Williams, who was Riri's mother, who she played the good, like, supporting mother figure, you know, like concerned about her child and stuff. So other than that, you have Zelma, who was the magic person. She was like the one which was like helping out with all the magic side of stuff. Who I thought I liked the magic stuff in this. It was good. I wasn't really a big fan of Agatha all along, and I didn't really care for a lot of the magic stuff in that one. But this one, it did feel like they scaled down a lot of the magic stuff compared to like what was in there, and so it felt more digestible, I guess. So yeah, other than that, you have who else do you have? Let's see. You do have John, who was I think it was Parker's brother, or it might have been cousin, but I'm pretty sure it was part of his family, I'm pretty sure. So he ended up dying, and it was pretty good motivation, I guess, to have Parker go after Riri. So yeah, so in terms of the characters, I'm going to give it I'm thinking between a 6.5 to a 7. They're all between. It's between like good and pretty good, and I'm going to. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give it pretty good. I'm gonna say a 7, just because really Sacha Baron Cohen's character, just he really just elevates it all for me. So anyway, in terms of the plot, I'm gonna say that the plot was basically you have Riri. She wants to develop her iron suit. She wants to do things because of part of it is like the memory of Gary. That's another. I forgot to mention these characters. Gary, Natalie. They were also good. Like Natalie as this construct. Gary is this memory, this stepfather that died that Riri really cared for. There's also Xavier, who was the brother of Natalie. So they were all good characters. So the plot is basically that Natalie and Gary died, and Riri, she wants to develop stuff because she can, like her stepfather used to do. And then over time, she realized that she needs the materials and she can't do it on her own. So then Parker ends up getting in contact with her after he sees he sees her flying with the iron suit. So he contacts her through John, and then she ends up getting an offer to work for him to perform heists so that she could then get the financial compensation that she needs in order to continue her research and development. So she goes along with it, and then they do all these heists, and then Riri realizes that there's something fishy going on with Parker and that she needs to investigate a bit, and so she ends up causing a heist to fail due to her investigations towards Parker, and then it leads to John's death. So then it becomes it becomes Parker versus Riri, and so suddenly Parker finds out the truth about Riri. He gets visions. Part of it is from Mephisto, so him like in the background manipulating stuff, and so so you have Parker versus Riri, and then Parker recruits Zeke to help him defeat Riri, and so and then Riri ends up losing her suit, and then Parker thinks that she's dead, but then eventually finds out that she's not dead, and so it becomes and so then Parker basically he gets revenge on his father, who ended up leaving him as a child, and then he not leaving him, but like outcasting him, or like saying like I don't want you anymore. And so Parker gets his revenge. He's in control of Zeke, and then it becomes a battle between Riri versus Parker with the hood. And so overall, the plot, I'm going to say it was good. I'll give it a 6.5. I thought it was a good plot. It was not like the most it worked for 6 episodes. It was it feels like a mini-series plot, which is what most of these Disney Plus shows are. Most of these Disney Plus shows they're like 6-episode plots, so it's like not something like too big or intricate. It's not like some I'm trying to think of an example, but it's not like I don't know, but nothing comes to the top of my head. But it's not like some huge narrative that's like extremely well crafted. It's like it's a mini-series plot, so it worked for a mini-series plot, so it was good. In terms of the setting, I'm going to give this. It was like mainly Chicago. There was nothing really that standed out, though. I guess Chicago itself, it was like there was some nice areas and stuff, but nothing really nothing that really caught my attention really. So I'm just going to give it a 5.5. It was decent, but nothing really more than that. In terms of the action, this is where it kind of let down a bit for me. I was kind of hoping for more, like the hood stuff. I like the bullet bending and stuff, and all the stuff that was with the hood. But he mainly just used it for like invisibility, which I guess they used that a lot because it was probably pretty easy with the CGI. Not CGI, but like that was an easy thing to use for like effects and stuff. But besides the invisibility, I thought the bullet curving was a cool thing to use, but it doesn't get implemented that much. There was like one scene where Parker ends up robbing his father's mansion, and it's like he fights off all the guards with Zeke, and I thought that was a cool scene. And you see like Parker like with the guns and stuff, and he's curving bullets and stuff, and I kind of wish that they did some more stuff with that. That would have been a bit cooler. Also, the iron suit, the Riri with her iron suit, like it doesn't get utilized that much. Like you see it in the first episode, and it's like she uses it for like the heists and stuff, but when it comes to like actually fighting people, it's like it doesn't feel like it gets utilized that much. So in terms of the action, I'm just gonna give it a I'm gonna give it like it's between like a 5.5 to a 6. And I'm gonna have to give it a 5. I'm gonna have to be harsh with this. Give it a 5.5. I thought that it was decent, but it was like not anything amazing. I did think that the final scene actually with Riri versus Parker, I thought was cool. Where it's like the hood really corrupts Parker, and he's like actually able to destroy the suit and stuff. I thought that was cool, and I kind of wish they did some more stuff with that. Maybe where it's like the suit like temporarily corrupts him. It's kind of similar to, if anything, Morbius, where it's like in Morbius you have like his the vampire side of him is like kind of corrupting him, and it's like he gets he unleashes the vampire side, and then it kind of goes away for a while. I kind of wish they had done something similar to that. So, yeah, in terms of the superhero aspects, I'll give it a. It feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel too much like a superhero show, not as much as like Hawkeye and stuff, but it might just be because Hawkeye was like, I was more used to the character of Hawkeye, and we've seen him more so up to this point, where in the show it's like everyone's kind of new except Riri, who was in Wakanda Forever. However, it does like, I don't know, it didn't feel too much like it felt more like a heist show, if anything, compared to Hawkeye, which did feel more so like a superhero show. So in terms of the superhero stuff, I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10. I'll say it was above average, but it was still not like really comparable to something like Hawkeye in terms of like the feeling of it. So in terms of the suspense / drama, I'm gonna say that it was you had some drama there, you had some suspense. There were moments where it's like, especially when after John's death, where it's like it feels like tense, where you wonder what's gonna happen. Is like Parker gonna find out and stuff. So I'm gonna give it I'm gonna say the suspense and drama was also like when Riri, like when Natalie leaves her, and then Riri's like on her own, and then the entire like slug goes after her, the blood twins, clown, all of them are trying to kill her. Like there are moments like that where it's like it feels like, okay, it's a bit tense now. So I'll say the suspense was, I'm thinking between a 6 to a 6.5, and I'm gonna be harsh with this and give it a 6. I'm just gonna say it was above average. So yeah, in terms of the worst thing, I don't know if anything really comes to. I'm just gonna say the underutilization of like some of the Hood's. I don't know, the Hood could have been used more. Like Parker could have done some more stuff with the Hood. It could have been nice to see that, and also like the iron suit that Riri had. Like it wasn't used enough, and because it wasn't used enough, I didn't really like that. So I guess the utilization of it was. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It was like it wasn't good. It wasn't bad though. Like it was still the scenes that it was cool, but I just wish that they would have used it more. So I'm just gonna give it a 5. In terms of the best thing though, it's absolutely just Sacha Baron Cohen's performance. I loved it. It was great. It was the most interesting character. Mephisto as a character is just also really cool. He's like very manipulating and stuff. He's like he knows what to say. He's like very tempting and stuff. He's able to give these offers that like sound too good to be true, and ultimately they are. And so I can't wait to see more of his character in the future. And so his performance, I'm just going to say it was I'm going to give it an 8.5. I thought it was amazing. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to do the calculations now. So King Crimson. All right, so it ends up coming out to exactly a 6.25, which would be between a 6 to a 6.5. And I would probably give the show, I'd probably give it like, I think probably a 6.5, I'd say. I think it was a good show. I don't know, maybe between a 6.5 to a 7, maybe between like good to pretty good. However, I think ultimately I'm more so, I think because of the recency bias, I'm just going to end up giving it a 6.5. I think it was good. I thought as a miniseries it worked, and it wasn't probably not as like here. Hawkeye was the other thing that I reviewed up to this point, so I still think Hawkeye was probably a bit more enjoyable for certain aspects, but ultimately I think this was still good. I did not think that didn't feel like a waste of time, at least, and so I thought ultimately it was good. It's good for like I guess Riri's progression. It helps establish the character in the MCU, and so yeah, ultimately I give it a 6.5. I thought it was a good show. So yeah, that is pretty much all there is. So if you have any recommendations, any movies, shows, anime, video game stories, anything that you want me to review, leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.